Are you feeling stuck in your Stoicism journey? You're not alone. Many of us unknowingly sabotage our progress with certain habits. Want to know what they are? Stick around as we uncover the 7 habits that are holding you back from mastering Stoicism. Stoicism, a philosophy that's been around for centuries, advocates for tranquility, self-control, and fortitude. It's about leading a balanced life, unfazed by the highs and lows that come our way. However, Stoicism is often misunderstood. Many believe it to be a call to suppress emotions, to be stone-faced and indifferent, but that's not the case. Stoicism is about understanding our emotions, not denying them. It's about finding balance, not aloofness. So why do we often find it hard to practice Stoicism? The problem lies in our habits. We're going to delve into 7 habits that might be holding you back from truly embracing Stoicism. These are the habits that make us weak in our practice, the ones that disrupt our equilibrium. Identifying these habits is the first step towards overcoming them. So, let's dive right into it. The first habit that weakens your Stoicism is seeking external validation. In the world of Stoicism, there's a keen emphasis on inner strength and self-validation. It's a philosophy that teaches us to look within ourselves for approval rather than relying on the ever-changing opinions of others. After all, our personal worth isn't determined by the number of likes on a social media post or the applause we receive for an accomplishment. It's determined by our own self-assessment, our own inner dialogue. When we seek validation externally, we're essentially handing over our peace of mind and inner stability to forces beyond our control. We become like a leaf in the wind, blown about by the whims and fancies of others. This compromises our inner peace, making us vulnerable to external circumstances that we often have no control over, leading us away from the Stoic path. But it's important to remember that Stoicism doesn't promote isolation or indifference to others. It simply encourages us to find self-worth within ourselves. It teaches us to be resilient in the face of criticism and indifferent to flattery, to stand firm in our values and beliefs regardless of the world's opinion. In essence, Stoicism is about cultivating an inner fortress, a core of self-assuredness that remains unperturbed by the chaos of the external world. It's about finding validation from within rather than seeking it from without. So the next time you find yourself looking for approval from others, pause, reflect, ask yourself, why do I need their validation? What does it truly mean to me? Remember, the only validation you need is your own. The second habit is avoiding discomfort. Stoicism, in its wisdom, teaches us to embrace discomfort as a part of life and growth. Discomfort, in all its varied forms, is a signal that we are stepping outside of our comfort zones and into the realm of personal development. It's the grit in the oyster that produces the pearl. When we avoid discomfort, we're effectively shying away from opportunities to grow and evolve. It's like choosing to remain in a cocoon instead of breaking free and taking flight as a butterfly. This habit can lead to a life that's stagnant, devoid of the rich experiences and lessons that come from facing and overcoming challenges. Discomfort is not something to fear or avoid. It's a guide, a compass, pointing us towards our potential. So the next time you feel uncomfortable, remember it's not a setback, it's a signpost. Embrace discomfort. It's a sign of growth. The third habit is dwelling on the past. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has stood the test of time, teaches us the importance of focusing on the present moment. It's about the now, the current situation, the task at hand. The past, filled with memories and experiences, can often feel like a cozy blanket, providing comfort and familiarity. But that comfort can be deceiving. When we dwell on the past, we're not truly living in the present. We're replaying old tapes, perhaps even rewriting them, instead of creating new experiences. This habit hampers our ability to plan for the future, to set meaningful goals, and to grow. Remember, the past is just that, past. It's gone. It's not coming back. Stoicism encourages us to accept this, to let go of our past and to focus on the present. The past is gone. Focus on the now. The fourth habit is fear of change. Change, my friends, is the only constant we can bank on in this ever-evolving world. It's the unyielding tide that shapes the shore, the shifting seasons that color our world. Stoicism, in its infinite wisdom, encourages us to not just accept, but to embrace this perpetual flux. Now let's ponder on fear of change. This fear can be a formidable barrier, a fortress that imprisons us in a stagnant state, restricting our growth, stifling our potential. It's like a bird fearing the sky, a fish fearing the sea. It's not just counterproductive, it's unnatural. Change isn't just about new beginnings, it's about endings too. It's about letting go, moving on, growing, learning. It's the rhythm of life. And we, as Stoics, should dance to this rhythm, not fear it. Change is inevitable. Embrace it. The fifth habit is overindulgence. Now let's not confuse overindulgence with enjoying life's pleasures. Stoicism doesn't preach abstinence, but it does advocate for moderation. Why? Because overindulgence can lead to a loss of self-control and an imbalance in life. When we give in to excess, whether it's food, drink, or even work, we can become slaves to our desires. And when we're not in control, we're not at peace. The Stoics understood that the sweet spot in life lies in balance. They practiced moderation, not because they despised pleasure, but because they knew that overindulgence could lead to dissatisfaction and unrest. When we overindulge, we're like a ship caught in a storm, tossed about by the waves of our desires. But with moderation, we become the captain of that ship, able to steer it through any storm. So remember, practice moderation. It's the key to balance. The sixth habit is neglecting self-care. This is a pitfall that can be easy to fall into, especially when we're striving to be steadfast and resilient in our Stoic journey. But remember, Stoicism isn't about denying oneself the essentials. It's about understanding what truly matters. We often mistake Stoic resilience for a disregard for well-being, but the truth is, the Stoics were advocates for self-care. They understood that maintaining good physical and mental health was crucial to their ability to face life's challenges with fortitude. Think of it this way: your body is the vessel that carries you through life, and your mind is the compass that guides you. If either one is neglected, your journey becomes that much harder. You wouldn't set off on a voyage with a leaky ship and a broken compass, would you? So take time to nourish your body and nurture your mind. Exercise, eat well, meditate, and rest. Take care of yourself. It's not selfish, it's necessary. The seventh and final habit is a lack of purpose. This is quite a pervasive issue, not just in Stoicism, but in life in general. The Stoics believed in having a clear purpose in life, a direction to set your compass towards. Without this, one might find themselves drifting aimlessly, caught in the currents of life without a clear destination in sight. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "He who has a why can bear almost any how." What he meant was that if you have a purpose, a why, it can carry you through the toughest of times. It's your North Star, your guiding light in the darkness. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning, and it's what keeps you going when the going gets tough. When you lack a purpose, you may feel like a ship lost at sea. You may find yourself constantly changing course, chasing after the next shiny thing that catches your eye. But without a clear destination, you'll never get anywhere. It's like trying to hit a target you cannot see. A lack of purpose can also lead to dissatisfaction. If you don't know what you're working towards, it's hard to feel satisfied with your progress. You may feel like you're just going through the motions, stuck in a perpetual state of discontent. So how do you find your purpose? Start by asking yourself what you're passionate about. What are the things that make you feel alive? What are the causes you care about? What are the changes you want to see in the world? These questions can help you find your purpose, your why. Find your purpose. It's the compass that guides your life. So there you have it, the 7 habits that make you weak in Stoicism. Let's take a quick recap. Seeking external validation, a habit that distracts us from our own self-worth. Avoiding discomfort, which prevents us from growing and learning. Dwelling on the past, a habit that ties us to things we cannot change. Fear of change, which keeps us stuck in the same old patterns. Overindulgence, a habit that clouds our judgment and self-control. Neglecting self-care, which undermines our physical and mental strength. And lastly, lack of purpose, a habit that leaves us feeling lost and unfulfilled. Each of these habits has the potential to weaken our Stoic resolve. But remember, habits are not fixed. They can be changed, reshaped, and replaced. It's up to us to assess our own habits, identify where we're going wrong, and make the necessary changes. Stoicism is not just a philosophy, it's a way of life. Embrace it, and watch your life transform